Granching Waterboxing Association. Happy New Year. Back with my series of videos introducing waterboxing. This is episode 5. So in the last episode I brought up that our next episode, this one, would be on the bones. How waterboxers approach the use of the skeletal structure and the bones. So unlike some internal styles, for example, many styles of Xingyi Chuan, they tend to avoid using the bones, and they tend to avoid going force on force. That's not necessarily true with waterboxing, which is probably why we focus quite a bit on structure, especially in the beginning. We try to use our structure to our advantage in a way that is maybe unlike some of those other styles. So this is actually both for striking as well as for grappling. So or basically contact, which is not necessarily to hit. So I'm going to demonstrate here on the bag a little bit from the form Xingyi, which kind of characterizes the approach regarding striking. So in an earlier video, I talked about the 3 main stances. One of them is the 70-30 stance, in which the rear leg is straight. So the rear leg is straight partly because the structure allows us skeletally to create one unit to issue force. So I also spoke about how we ride the bones rather than riding the tendons, and this is a very big part of it. This characterizes a very big part of it. So on a bag, from a 60-40 stance going to a 70-30 stance, we make sure that we straighten the leg. So what we want to do is we want to straighten that leg so that all of our bones essentially become one bone, and we can drive through the target. In many other styles, including in many styles of Taiji, they never really straighten the rear leg, and that's their approach, and that's fine. They generate a lot of force as well. But we like to generate through that leg into the target using that structure. Now I will go into a little bit of how we use the bones in more of a grappling situation rather than striking. Okay, now with the help of a partner, I'm going to show a little bit of bone on bone or force on force that is not striking related. So unlike a lot of arts, internal arts I should say, and in particular I think Taiji, most people who know a little bit about Taiji would agree that in general you don't kind of want to go force on force. They like to, you like to follow the center, and I'm not saying that we don't do that, but what I am saying is that we don't necessarily avoid force on force. So when I form the bridge, when I make a bridge, I don't necessarily have a problem in waterboxing with pushing in, okay? Now, if my structure is good, I can do that. And if my structure is better than hers, I can push in on her and create, overpower her force. Which is something that I do not believe a lot of Tai Chi people in particular do. And again, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's not necessarily our approach. If her structure is better than mine and I can't hold her off, then of course I will have to adjust my structure and redirect her force in a way that is advantageous to me. The other thing with bone on bone is that I don't want to grind in order to defeat her structure. I don't want to continue to grind, because in a combat situation, generally speaking, she's going to do something else. If she keeps feeling me grind, she's smart too. She will probably redirect my own force and then do something to me. So it's kind of a very spontaneous, I don't want to say instantaneous, but it's a very quick thing. In a combat situation, if I can come in on her, I will. If I can't, then I have to get to the point where I can. And of course, just like with any kind of combat, you have to be aware that your partner is also smart and good, and may do something similar or something else. So that's a little bit of the bone on bone that water boxers, or our approach to water boxing does. Thank you for watching. I will probably have at least another few in this series of videos introducing water boxing. Leave a comment. Thank you.